It looks like we're going to have more participants join as we start, which is fine, and I'll continue to admit people, but I wanted to let everyone know that we are so excited that so many people have joined us for our Poetry Open Mic Night. As you know, the theme is hope, and we have a wonderful host this evening, Marissa Michel, and I will give her an introduction, a proper introduction in a moment. But I wanted to introduce myself. My name is Rachel Zukowski, and I'm the Program Services Manager at Prince George's County Memorial Library System. And we really enjoy hosting these events because it gives the community a great opportunity to share their work and their creativity. And I'll be kind of running the background tech. We also have a lot of other librarians here this afternoon or this evening, and we're really excited to get started. So without further ado, let me introduce our esteemed host, Marissa, and I'll let you know a little background information about her. So Marissa Michel is a second-generation American of Haitian and Puerto Rican descent and heritage. She was the 2020 Prince George's County Youth Poet Laureate. She is an avid poet, digital artist, and musician. In 2020, she was a recipient of multiple national gold medals for poetry in the Scholastic Arts and Writing competition, as well as an American Voice nomination in the Scholastic competition. She is also the recipient of the 2020 Diaz-Mattison Poetry Prize. Her newest work can be found in the Scholastic Arts and Writing online gallery, Love Letters to the Mothers and Fathers of the African Diaspora, and the Bridgewater International Poetry Festival. Her writing tends to reflect diverse experiences of living in America and center on topics of gender, race, and class. Marissa is currently a junior at Sidwell Friends High School, where she serves as an editor-in-chief of Quarterly, an arts and writing magazine. So Marissa, we're so honored to have you host with us. She will go over kind of like logistics about how to sign up to present and how long each presenter will have. And then she'll share some of her own works with us. So Marissa, thank you so much for being here.
Thank you for introducing me, and thank you everyone for coming out. I know we're in for a great night of poetry. I also want to say thank you to the Prince George's Arts and Humanities Council and everyone at Creative Suitland for helping make this event possible. So some logistics or Zoom etiquette, just when you're not presenting poetry in the open mic, just make sure to have your mic off so we don't have any background noise. If we get enough time, people may be able to say more than one poem, but just for now, the first go around, say one poem and try to keep it at or below 2 minutes, just so that everyone has time to share. And if you want to read in the open mic, then just put your name in the chat so that I can call on you later. And I will say that again later. So my first poem, or the poem that I'm sharing today, is called Ode to a Sunrise in the Middle of Nowhere. And I will share my screen because I think that will be helpful for people to read what I'm saying. So, Ode to a Sunrise in the Middle of Nowhere. Freedom runs like blood, eager and impatient in our veins. Here, sweat freckles our skin, salty beads, red tinted under the pomegranate-colored sky. I wonder when I stopped admiring that sky and started trying to touch it instead. Today, the scent of fried fish and charcoal smoke is so thick it weaves into my clothes and does not come out with the wash. Escúchame, listen to me, my grandmother says. Hay más en la vida que los amaneceres y las noches estrelladas. There is more to life than sunrises and starry nights. In the lulls of June mornings, I trace the path of hatched lines inked into my open palms. I am learning the art of acceptance. Sometimes the birds resemble toy planes when they dive into the trees and disappear before my watching eyes. The only reminder of their presence is their song. Their song which carries the smooth sways of summer days, captured in subtle, striking melodies. I wonder when it became so easy to ignore their tunes. At night, our calloused feet soften in the cool grass. We grasp with too much longing at the flickering lightning bugs and imagine we are catching stars in our hands, which are rough and dirt creased and empty. The children dance to an unfinished song of rising and falling. They slide and dip and turn with an ease that time has stolen from us. My grandmother's movements are sharp and mechanical, shoulders angled, elbows pointed, knees bent. She moves to a soft and quick staccato, the rhythm of a broken machine. Before waking hours, I catch the sunrise, the sky a canvas of bright reds, orange, yellows, a harmony of hues that bleed color into a forgetful landscape. I wonder how many sunrises my grandmother has seen with her hollow eyes. I hold the image in my gaze until the sun finds its place in the center of a sea of clear blue. When night falls, the brilliant vision resurfaces in my mind, and I wait, impatient for the next dawn, for the next day, for the next sunrise. So thank you. And I am very excited to get into the open mic portion. So if you have a poem that you would like to read, just put your name in the chat. And for anyone listening, you don't have to participate, but if you hear something in someone's poem that moves you, you can put it in the chat as well and point that out. So the first person who I see to read is Alana. Do you want to go?
Hello. My name is Ilana, and today I'm going to be sharing a poem called Distance Has Become You. I already feel unrestrained, taking back roads through life to get to my destination. While crying for hours, I saw a speck of light, and it came and left like a dolphin in the sea. Body pain, uninvited flashbacks, and no one there. I guess it could only be my imagination. Little black girl, wake up. Do not lose sight. You are God's beautiful creation. You don't think you're enough. You don't think you should live. I would like to disagree. I already feel unrestrained, taking back roads through life to get to my destination. God says that you are fearfully and wonderfully made with what you feel. There is no relation. Instead, beautiful black child, admire the flowers. Imagine landing on a miraculous sunflower like a bee. Body pain, uninvited flashbacks, and no one there. It could only be my imagination. I understand that there is light. I must soon get rid of this frustration. Grabbing onto hope as tight as I can. I don't want to be depressed. I want to be free. I already feel unrestrained, taking back roads through life to get to my destination. Grabbing onto hope as tight as I can. I don't want to be depressed. I want to be free. Having faith and letting go of fear. Now there is no suffocation. Seeing darkness for so long, I never knew I'd get my vision back, but now I can see. Body pain, uninvited flashbacks, and no one there. I guess it could only be my imagination. I will forever walk with God, where I will forever feel free. I already feel unrestrained, taking back roads through life to get to my destination. Body pain, uninvited flashbacks, and no one there. I guess it could only be my imagination. Thank you.
Thank you for sharing that. I love your use of repetition. The next.
Thank you. It was a villanelle.
Oh, cool. I love villanelles. Okay. The next person up, James Cole.
Hey folks, thank you all for having me. Can you hear me? I wasn't sure. I got my new mic here. Are we good? Excellent. Okay, so I guess, man, I was having a hard time picking one, but I'm gonna read this one, which I just wrote today. So I apologize if it's a little wonky still. It's called It Happens. And you know what? I wonder, can I share my screen? I think I might be able to. Can y'all see that? We're good? Awesome. All right. It happens. They say those meeting in middle time as median as chivalry of wastedness. that all is done by the lip of a pitcher, and all is done by the time its history is written. And we should always listen, not to reply, but to understand, because people, not places, are history, except that the world groans always without us, and I'll be damned if I let this planet repeat itself. I heard a rumor that this is how shit gets done. My student tells me that in Nepal, they say itihas, history. It happens, and it always happens, doesn't it? A rhetoric metaphor. It occurred to me. It just so happens that it happens just so. From footless toe to headless hair, huge graves heaped from our unsuspecting, a brutish truth, a wrong wrought longer than the strong man's hair, he hoists and tears for love. Ruin all around him until he deems it too difficult to amend. Too quickly he defends his chain. In some corner of a smoke-filled den, a prognostic remembers how it was and wonders, choking, if it is. But does a story lose itself in repetition? Or shall the teller become his story, here among its making, an oxymoron in defacing this theological apology? Maybe. Not saying sorry is almost as good as not doing anything in the first place, which is why when you ask, how did things get this bad? I say, itihas. It happens. It is always happening. Thank you.
Wow, thank you for sharing that. That was great. I think everyone agrees. Okay, next up is Kim Miller.
Hi, how's everybody doing? My name is Kim B. Miller, and I'm Poet Laureate for Prince William County, Virginia. And I will be doing some haikus for you. What haikus are really short poems, 3 lines, 5 syllables, 7 syllables, 5 syllables. You have 17 syllables, not words, to make a point. Started in Japan, only on nature and flowers. The other countries switched it up. Really is a senryu, but that's a whole nother long story. So it's just a non-traditional haiku. So here we go. Haiku. Strong women are not unbreakable. We just know you ain't the hammer. Haiku. It's okay to be scared. Do it anyway. Scared people succeed too. Haiku. Stop letting people who can't write define you. Your blood ain't ink. Haiku. You cannot divide yourself into fractions to make someone else whole. Haiku. Please recognize your accomplishments or you will label them failures. Haiku. If someone says you shine too bright, tell them to take a seat in your shade. And I'll end with this one. Haiku. They thought they broke you, but you're a glow stick. They just exposed your light.
Thank you. Very powerful words. I love haikus too. Okay, next up, Bernardo.
Good evening, everybody. The poem I'm bringing tonight is a poem that's newly written. The title of the poem is The Mantras of Hope for Marissa Michel. Humility opens potential enlightenment. This is what I think of when I think of hope, of ways and phrases that enable me to cope with realities that breathe finality, like smoke from bombs. Scenes where dreams scream, beaming nightmares in like false evidence appearing real, reveal shrill false alarms. Prayer is there to make me feel connected, protected, and keep me calm. Help offered precedes elevation. That's another thing I think of when I think of hope. I think of a rope tossed down inside a well, where the faintest cry of help is heard and someone above yells back, "Hello, are you okay? Assistance is on the way. Wrap this line around you if you can. Hold on while some other helping hands arrive. We will survive together. We'll be better. Just hold on." Healing offsets pain endured is also what I think of when I think of hope. Those who've been hurt, treated, cured. It's also from major ailments free at last. Focus on this too shall pass. When I had surgery on my heart, intense pain was a part of my life for 2 months after, such that I was scared of laughter, bursting out too hard, too much. I clutched my chest, intense the pain, but now I'm free to laugh again. Here our pathways encounter what amounts to final thoughts of mine, inclined to what you brought for us to see. Reflections I might give for as long as I have lived, and as much as you have seen or even dreamed to come to be. Hope helps us find the courage to become the ones we are, then continue on becoming each following our own true northern star. We broke our hope like bargaining, past hope like broken bread. In lives where love is starving, perhaps they may be nurtured, rescued, fed from seeds of hope, deeds of hope, the need for hope. Thank you.
Wow, I'm always so captivated by your work, and it speaks loudly to the theme of tonight, which is hope. So thank you so much for sharing that.
That's why I dedicated it to you, because you are the one who put that seed in my mind last week when you told me what the theme would be.
Thank you so much, and thank you. Just thank you. Okay, next is a poet who needs no introduction, but I will give her one, the Prince George's County Poet Laureate, Sister Joy. So you're up next.
Oh, good evening, everyone. The poem I want to share is titled Sunshine. And yeah, I see sunshine, even here where rivers drown dreams, and life screams from beneath her silencing tide. Here, where the shadow of death seems to have eclipsed the very soul of hope, I still see sunshine. Despite pain and devastation riding rampant across the land, like waves that crest during raging storms, life will erupt with fiercest fury, with the resilience of Job, and conquer her greatest foe. For just as hope is nowhere more needed than during our greatest plight, nowhere do stars shine brighter than during the darkest night. Yes, I see sunshine, where hopelessness once held us captive, where life seemed left to float among yesterday's debris. So, like flowers that bloom in radiant hues and rainbows that still follow the storm, like babies born who know not of gloom, and larks that sing their songs anew each morn, I know there is a brighter tomorrow, for faith, not fear, is the path that I follow. Christ defeated death to save mankind, so yes, there will be sunshine.
Gorgeous. I love that line. I still see sunshine. That is amazing. So thank you so much for sharing that.
You're very welcome.
And next is Brenda Bunting.
It was so good to see you and Saini on television. Congratulations, ladies. on being on the news, and congratulations just to the poetry world in general, because we got to step up with the inauguration. Thanks for the theme. I didn't realize there was one, but I wrote a short poem, and I'll just call it Hope. Hope almost always appears in the morning, softly like the dew clinging, tears of God imperceptible, unnoticed until you touch patches of grass and meadows of green, and it touches you back. Hope is the soul cleansing against the depression and the disappointments. It hugs like a strong man, and the loving mother, soothing the sobbing, giving security against the breaking. It bolsters, moving into the bounty of love, grabbing the eternal stream invisible. Hope pushes past pain into a baptism of renewal that resurrects into song burst of victory when hope comes dancing. It is an ancient stomp, in tune to the earth drums of life beat we all feel. Love and hope intertwine, birthing powerful ideas, growing flowers over garbage fields. All the ugly fades from view. Hope is a large rage of animation, light giving suspended, sparkling like crystals in creation, all across earth. It is everywhere where there is not, filling vacuums of hopeless hearts and moving despairing gestures into applause unparalleled. Lifted up, lifted up. Hope rides into the sunset, laughing at the darkness. She is the conqueror. Hope for the newness of tomorrow, for she will conquer.
Wow, that was great. Your word choice is so powerful, and you read it so amazingly.
Thank you.
So thank you. Okay, next is Parker. And also just a reminder, if you want to read a poem and have not been called on yet, just put your name in the chat. But next is Parker.
Hi. So I'm gonna read a poem I wrote called Savior Complex. I grew up learning about you. I recited the pledge each morning, eyes fixed on your flag as it hung above the wooden door. At the sound of the bell, it sprung out of my mouth. I didn't understand what I was saying for a long, long time. I learned of your successes, the ideals that pushed your people to freedom, innovation, and unprecedented democracy. I learned of your failures, too, in the same way a foolish man tries to fly like an eagle and falls off a cliff. I told myself that your failures do not define you. No matter how they have scorched the roots of my family tree on both sides, I still would have called you the greatest country in the world. Then I tore away the red blindfold, brushed past the white carpet, and left the blue room. Now I see you bathing in the flames of your own chaos, and I wonder why I want to save you so badly. Is it because when I blink, I see what you might have been had you followed through on your promises of liberty and justice for all, instead of merely gazing at them with a lazy eye? Perhaps I'm merely angry. Although I shielded my heart of gold that was willing to love anyone and anything, my defenses have failed, and hateful smoke billows from my mouth as I cough out flecks of ore. Perhaps I'm tired of seeing your violence over and over and over again, of watching the world's cruelest Rube Goldberg machine reset itself and continue its sinister machinations, a little marble ball falling from a shelf and knocking over the carefully placed dominoes in a calculated disaster. We could make something better if we tried, if we respected the perspectives of all people and acknowledged those that we have disenfranchised. We can make a better place for all of us. But I'm watching you pray in the inferno, fall into your knees with crossed fingers behind your back. Thank you.
Thank you for sharing that and for coming, Parker. I really resonate with your words, and I know a lot of people today do too, and you can see in the comments. So next up is Saini Cisse, who is also the current Prince George's County Youth Poet Laureate. So get your hands ready for her. So come on, Saini.
Thank you. Hi, everyone. Okay, the poem that I want to read, I wrote for Rolling Gray. If you guys don't know who that is, he is the most famous boy in the DMV in a wheelchair. The theme was hope, so I felt like I wanted to read this poem because I feel like this past year, like Rolling Gray's presence has just been like a bright spot, like amidst all of the craziness. Like he's just always so himself, and like he's just such a like funny personality. And I was thinking about him a lot because he was recently in the hospital because he got burned, and I was just like, he was on my mind. Like I was just reflecting on how positive of a person he is and just like how that's affected me. And I'm working on a series of poems that are kind of related to like PG County and the DMV in some way. So this poem is part of that collection. It's just titled For Rolling Gray. And also for context, he originated a word called purr, which comes from the word period. So that's kind of what this poem is about. Okay. You gave us another word for celebration and hyping people up, derivative of the ones our mothers used to tell us the case is closed, to end a statement in finality, hold a sentence up like a bookmark or a padlocked door that won't invite any back talk in but you. Found a way to take a period and have it roll past the sentence it was confined to. The word is now an immovable force, but this time your mouth has defeated the mountain. Of course, a queer Black boy would be the one to do what they say is impossible, then say it's really nothing. To take what we've been given and make it something that tastes different. You birthed a word that had the purpose of being sweet on our tongues, and now somewhere, like right now, someone's tongue is finding a newer form, rolling. A sun ray of light is on their face. They'll find the word when looking for ways to say, I see you. When they look in the mirror and the reflection smiles back in a way that maybe they hadn't noticed before. Every few seconds, the word fires off someone's mouth in a harmony, and it's Black, and it's beautiful, and it's vibrating us out of another bad time. You have brought me so much joy this year. I reach for it most when I am excited or want to celebrate. I gift it to my friends when they are beautiful and my breath stops. I find your word when I am speechless. When I offer it up like a flower, it seems as if I am giving what's supposed to be gave. So that's that piece. Hopefully y'all know who Rolling Ray is and you get it.
You are one of the best poet performers I know. I love hearing you read.
Thank you.
Okay, so next up is T Fun. Oh, you're on mute, by the way.
Thank you. Peace and blessings to everyone. I'm a newbie, so let me just get it out. Thank you. This is entitled Inauguration 2021, Why? I maneuver invisibly in a world of crooked paths and crooked people, with crooked churches constructed with a crooked steeple. How can you or I straighten the path, diminish the wrath, cleanse the bloodbath, then manage the aftermath? When begins the start of the true spiritual healing? Lest not we bypass punishment from all the shady wheeling and dealing. Hopeful for no more horrific sounds of insurrection squealing. An end to chaos on sacred land that splits a nation that is reeling, but reminds me there is a purpose for prayer, which moves me to kneeling. Why must it always be Dems or Repubs versus Black or white? Why must flags of historical hatred incite violence to fight? Why must you raise yourself but lower my height? Why must you illuminate your evil but diminish my light? Why must your hurt and harm be conditioned as powerful and right? And why must my ancestry orations be hidden in dark night? Why must you gain power that you abuse with privilege and might? Why must you lose sympathy for my pitiful plight? Why must my nonviolence be mistaken for weakness, shortcomings, or slight? Why must I cowardly bend from your oppressive legislative tactics of spite? Why must I listen when your bigotry denies my birthright? Why must I fear white hoods and burning crosses from your ungodly ceremonial campsite? Why must I die slowly from your poisonous, venomous bite? Why must I accept your failures when you declare no remorse or seem the least bit contrite? Why must these ponderings take position in the limelight? Why can't evil and hatred just float and disappear like a wind-aided kite? Why must these deep musings pose more powerful and sorrowful than sheer delight? Why must that crooked church still stand tall in daylight? Why must we build a straight and upright church, having gained from hindsight? And why must these questions linger on this 2021 inaugural day as my conscious fright? Thank you.
Strong message and strong words. And also I commend you for the rhyming because I know that that is very difficult. So thank you. Thank you for sharing that. Next up is Sabia.
Hi, I'm so glad to be here. This is my first one of these, but Marissa's an amazing human and an amazing poet, so I'm so glad that I could come. I didn't actually know there was a theme, but what I wanted to read kind of fits into it, and the name of it's called Medusa's Ghazal. Before monstrosity, I was beauty personified. My beauty filled the flow of curves like the water that carves the beautiful earth. It's her sadness I mirror. He wound me like a stream, told me, beautiful, I've never seen anyone as clearly. Rerouted, rerouted. He carried me beneath a bridge, took me on an altar like a god. Before beauty, I was a monstrosity. My voice submerged, his current racking my body in, out, sunk me on that altar to intelligence to show me what I lacked. Beauty is the sound of your own thoughts in your own head, not this shipwreck he left. Should have drowned like a captain, beautified, swallowed by his seas. I learned that beauty is safety, a moving nest of asps and wings so I could fly into the beautiful sunset. Before safety, I never knew the beauty of being able to walk unafraid of getting taken by an unstoppable tide that chews beauty like glass. Monstrosity is getting tossed so many times your smoothness is handled and worn as jewelry, strung and beautified in the glinting light. If he met my eyes now, he'd find them stubborn as stone. Medusa's capable of withstanding the water. Thanks.
Wow, you just gave me chills. That was amazing. Thank you for coming, Sabia. Okay, next up is Corey.
Hey, how y'all? Hey, how's everybody doing? Can y'all hear me?
Yes.
Yep.
Okay, cool. All right. So the title of my poem is called Writing. Writing is like fighting, the opposite of hiding. The truth for youth has no roof, setting free those boundaries. Writing is inviting, the opposite of strife in life. The truth is for new kids, wrong is wrong when wrong seems right. Writing is immortalizing. Writing is immortalizing. The opposite of borderlines. Truth is fortifying. Flesh we have, but not forever. Although our soul is, we live through those kids. Writing.
Thank you. Thank you so much for sharing that. Also, I think someone just asked in the chat, I'll just say again, as a reminder, if you want to read, just put your name in the chat. So next will be Joran, who is one of the current Prince George's County Youth Poet Ambassadors.
Thank you for the introduction. I just wrote this today, so it's a little shaky. I'm not sure how I feel about it yet, but I blast my music to distract me from the ever-looming depression brewing in my mind and heart. But my tears leave my eyes without my permission and burn the cuts in my wrists. Mom tells me I just do it for attention, implying if I really wanted to do something, I would do it. Dad's voice echoes in my mind, don't ever hesitate. Although he was talking about driving, not dying. Although maybe he could give advice on that too. When he cooked me breakfast and told me I was his reason for living, that I was his life, I wonder if he meant it. Because if so, I would have to ask why he did it. Did he dream of me? Did I flash before his eyes? Did he spend so much time sleeping his life got jealous and killed him? I wonder if he knew he would try to permanently go to sleep while telling me to be strong when I scratched my knees on concrete, or when I flooded my pillow sheets with tears after finding out my crush didn't like me as much as I did then. When we went to church and he told me we partake of Jesus's body to remember when he sacrificed himself on Calvary to atone for our sins, I wonder if he sacrificed himself to atone for mine. They say what doesn't kill you makes you stronger, but whatever made you feel like I was better off without you must have been the worst storm, because you were always my warmonger. You were the steady tree holding me above the floods. You were my spine, holding me upright. Sometimes what doesn't kill you just makes you weak. We speak as if trauma is a rite of passage and not a scar, as if it is not a hard to swallow pill that can make some choke. You called me your pretty girl, and now you're sitting casket pretty. You always said how much my messy room made you feel cramped, so I wonder how you feel in your coffin. And if you'll make friends in Cemetery City, I wonder if you can still dream of me wherever you are. I was playing with my life while you were here, and now that you're gone, I feel like I'm the only part of you that's left. Without you, I'm free falling through this world until you and sleep catch me. But for you, I will live. I will brave the storm of life with you as my backbone, forever holding me upright. Thank you.
Big round of applause. Bernardo put in the chat, wow, definitely wow. You are a terrific storyteller. So thank you so much for coming and sharing. Your line, I wonder if he sacrificed himself to atone for mine. That was beautiful. And yes, someone also put how much talent there is here. Obviously, there is a lot of incredibly talented poets out here tonight. So I want to say thank you again, everyone, for coming and reading or just listening, because I really appreciate it. And next up, another Prince George's County Youth Poet Ambassador currently is Deja Epps.
Can you guys see and hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Okay.
Breaking up a little bit.
Wait, Deja, your audio is breaking up a little bit. Wait, okay. I think you're having a connection issue. Okay, so we will wait for her to get. Okay, so while Deja. Oh, are you on a different phone? Deja, are you still on? I do not know where that sound is coming from, so I guess we will go to the next person while Deja gets her connection back on, hopefully. So next up is Morgan.
Okay, so I wrote a poem. It's a little bit short, but okay, I don't have a title for it either, but the way I feel on the inside is different from on the outside. The outside is fake, the inside is real. All of these things I'm trying to heal. All of these things I have to go through day by day by day. How am I supposed to make it all go away? How? That's a big question. One word, many answers, but we never truly know. We are expected to just go with the flow. Some of us can't figure out yes from no, right from wrong, stop from go. But one day you'll look deep enough inside and you'll see true from false. You'll know what's real from fake. You'll find yourself and you'll never have to be anyone else.
Thank you, Morgan, so much for coming and sharing. I loved hearing your piece. Thank you. And next up is Vil.
Okay, am I on?
Yep.
All right. Here's one. I brought a several. This one is titled "Captured." If everybody can hear me, title's "Captured." I wrote this in the spirit of COVID just recently, a few days ago, and here we go. The abyss of winter has hushed the streets. Mother Nature's cycle is now complete. Birds now gone, the cold has frozen over. The land and city keeps clouds raining often as she weeps. In the snow, wolves chase down the prey they seek. Into the air, chimneys breathe, and in the windows looking out, lonely hearts have been seized.
Thank you. Did you say that you had multiple pieces?
Yeah, yes. I'll read another one an hour later.
Actually, is there anybody who would like to read who hasn't gone this first time around? Because we might be able to actually have some.
Yes.
Okay.
I would.
So thank you so much, Vil, for sharing. And then we'll go to Camille.
Yeah. Sorry, I didn't get my message. That's why I'm so late. Can you hear me?
Yes. You can go.
Okay. Okay. Hi. This was a verse I wrote about 4 years ago, and having come through that year of COVID, it suddenly has so much more relevance than it did at that time. It's fading images. She grows tired of goodbyes, steeped in yearning and wistful smiles, farewells that turn to empty spaces, fading images and fierce longings, lonely trips and dinners for one please, news of familiar long ago faces, passing, crossing over to who knows where, reawakening sleeping fears in the hearts of those left behind, smiling and joking as they seek to bury the ever-spreading tentacles of helplessness.
Thank you. Beautiful imagery. So now, if I do not see any other names in the chat, although I may be missing something. Is there anyone who didn't go the first time who would like to go? Just unmute yourself and say your name.
I'm Sheila.
Okay.
Hi, this is my first time doing this. Just getting back into poetry. So, and I didn't know the theme until just now. I don't know how I missed it. So, the poem is called Hope. Dawn, rose clouds on the horizon, chirping morning bird, welcoming sun, beckoning me to start anew, to take flight with the anticipation of a new day. Soft buds open, the promise of floral fragrance, blessing me with surprising sensation, awakening the desire of consummation. Dusk, setting sun, purple vista, stellar blanket slowly covering me with a million wishes for the night sky. Day into night, everlasting hope. I drift to sleep with anticipation, expectation of birth, promise, blessing.
Thank you. Thank you so much for sharing. Okay, now Deja told me that her internet is back on. So Deja, would you like to go?
Yes, I'm so sorry for my terrible internet connection. The poem I have is kind of, I guess, in celebration of Valentine's Day that's coming up. This is a poem I wrote when I first started poetry, but it's still kind of a memory of when I had a crush my freshman year of high school. I'm about to graduate though, so I'm happy about that. Okay, so my poem is called Poetic Justice, and it's kind of like a parallel between my crush and the movie.
You were to me as lucky was to justice. Poems formed from tender words that sang in my heart, holding truth that my mind dismissed with conscious lies. Your humble presence showered me with attention, and in return, you came face to face with the closed, shut door. I'll admit, it was my fear that I used as a cushion to prevent the wounds I would suffer falling from the cliff of your rejection. Renunciation that was my fate when you didn't find what your mind craved from me. A mind that created a fantasy your fabricated and chose to believe. Is it my fault we weren't what we could have been? Questions formed just thinking about our potential. Your heart moved with the wind traveling at lightning speed, and that same wind tugged at me and likewise pulled, but like grass, I dug myself deep, and my low self-esteem kept me from enjoying the journey alongside you. My fear of the ocean caused rejection of further exploration in those crystalline eyes that enduringly stared into mine, always looking for a coded message or an answer present deep inside. Would you follow me into the unknown? Faith poses a question that completely perplexes man. Among the many theories that holds no logic, speculation save from a factual scan. And just like his eyes in the ocean they resembled, love holds no promise and going both ways can trap you, representing a card designated the hangman. Thank you.
Thank you, Deja. I'm glad that your connection worked again because I'm so happy to hear your poem. So next up, and I see that we do have people who want to go a second time. I also just saw Brian James put his name in the chat. So Brian, would you like to go?
Thank you. My name is Brian, and I'm here because I'm a big fan of Marissa's. And I just love to see you young people do your thing. I'm so proud of you. Just please make me a promise and continue writing. I'm going to jump right into my piece, and then I'm afraid I have an event that I have to go to. It's called Ode to Arlene. A mature Jewish woman, small in stature, warm in heart, meticulously dressed down to her pearl drop earrings. A small beauty mark nested upon her cheek. She is smiling now. A black boy, unrefined but kind, walks with a swagger and spits rhymes in hallways to beatbox rhythms. When your colleagues called me a thug and an underachiever, you said that I was an urban Shakespeare. You said that I am worthy, and you made me feel worthy. You celebrated my words and lifted me so that even after this life of successes and failures and decades past, I still feel worthy. You celebrated my words and helped a little black boy love himself, love his art, with your open-minded love and acceptance. My ally in a world full of turmoil, upon your journey and transition to grace and tranquility, you removed veils and prejudices and left me with purity. Not just a Jewish teacher, nor I just a black boy. You were my friend. So with every completed poem and with gratitude and love, I feel you smiling now. Yes, she is smiling now. Thank you, guys.
Thank you. And thank you for coming. I loved your poem. And thank you for your encouragement too. I promise I will never stop writing. I know we have a lot of young poets in here. I'm so just grateful and grateful for everyone who is here today. Next is Feline.
Hi, everybody. I'm Feline. Thanks for having me. This is actually my first time doing it with PGCMLS Library, so I'm super excited. I love open mics. I haven't done one in a really long time, so you guys, I'm so grateful. So I'm just gonna go ahead and jump in. My poem was written yesterday. It's called True Beauty, based on a South Korean dramedy, a drama and a comedy that talks about the harsh realities of bullying. So with that being said, without further ado, I'm just gonna go ahead and dive in. She's not ugly, she's broken. Heart wrecked from all the disrespect, she's choking. Behind eyes that never lied, she fights hard to hold back the waterworks and stop the stream of tears from flowing down her face after being reminded repeatedly to stay in her place. Dumpling girl, they called, pushing her harshly, causing her to stumble and fall, doing everything she possibly could to hide the pain, eating her life from the inside. She felt like she was going insane. You see, it's not easy being born with a face like this. The object of disdain, ridicule, and torment. Dejected and rejected, she attracted incessant bullying from the other kids. So much pain and hatred, confusion ensued. Why do you hate me so much? I didn't do nothing to you, she asked. Because you're ugly, the bullies replied. Then they started laughing at her to the extent where she wanted to take her own life, commit suicide. You see, her trauma ran so deep, she felt she just couldn't take it no more. So she ran away from them to the roof of the building next door. Standing on the roof of the building, looking over the edge, she was about to take a step. But then she realized, I don't want to go out like this. I'm a high schooler with my whole life ahead of me, and I haven't even had my first kiss. I have too much to live for. So she rescued herself and sought to become more. That night she went home with tears streaming down her broken face. She looked in the mirror and fell to the floor. She gave God praise that her life was saved. And suddenly she didn't feel alone anymore. And she said, thank you, God, for your amazing grace. And with that being said, I'm just going to sing the first verse. Amazing grace, how sweet the sound that saved a wretch like me. I once was lost, but now am found. Was blind, but now I see. Cathartic. Thank you. That's my time. Peace and blessings.
Thank you. I feel your energy through the screen. So thank you so much for coming. And your message was so important. And also, I wanted to say, wow, there has been such a variety of poems tonight and poets. That is amazing. So I'm so happy to be here with everyone. And next, we are going to get started with the second go around. Sister Joy, would you like to go?
Yes, okay. I hadn't for sure decided, but I think I'll just go with this. One poet mentioned that we have Valentine's Day coming up, so I hadn't thought of that. So I'm going to do a love poem that I actually wrote for my nephew when he got married. And this is titled, When Two Bright Stars Meet. It's a glorious moment when two bright stars meet. No eclipse, suspended gravity, or loss of sanity upon taste of sweet lips, but rather an expanding of universes. One would shadow the other, except that she recognizes him as nexus, where her yesterday and today have become tomorrow, and he too sees her as his future, his forever lover, maybe mother of his children, should they be so blessed by God. When two bright stars meet, that moment be witnessed by friend and foe alike. To all in sight, their days become one journey, their nights too glorious to define. She claims him as hers, and he prays, let her be mine. So when confirmed by God, their universe not only shines, it brings into existence a new paradigm, one transported from dreams where everything born of love not only seems possible, but is. When two bright stars meet, theirs is a power of purity. It drives out demons and distractions, builds bridges that carry them to sanctuaries to which only they hold the key, a place and time ordained and divinely defined as theirs, where happiness happens regularly and consistently, where hope has become second nature, like breathing, a place where loving is believing and carries meaning previously reserved for fairy tales. But their tale of love be true and everlasting. When bright stars meet, it be about faith and fitness in and for one another. They have prayed and prepared for this, and now, after a decade of glorious moments, they now proclaim it so, claim it theirs before God and each witness present. They welcome each other as their former friend and lover, saying to one another through trusting lips and convicted hearts, "Come, let us create memories, moments of love and life that shine brightly, moments that say, you will forever be mine."
Wow, what a beautiful poem. I love that line, when hope has become second nature. That is so powerful.
Thank you.
Thank you. And next up is Shamika.
Okay. Hello. Hello. Good night.
Hi.
Hi. This is Untitled. It's still a work in progress, but I was encouraged to share, and hope you all appreciate it. Okay. The value of words are lost in the annal of times. I see them declining every day. The good day to you, the good morning, and simply, how are you doing? Forgotten most days. It makes me sad. These words are replaced by actions of sulky faces and frowns, entitled posturing and preening. The Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, and greetings, tainted by human greed and callousness. Oh, 'tis sad. The art of speaking is in decline. 'Tis sad indeed. Thank you.
I'm glad you were encouraged to share. Thank you for sharing that poem. Next up, I believe, is Damari. Do you want to read?
Hi, can you guys hear me?
Yep.
Okay, I'm gonna try to share my screen because I'm on my phone. Okay, can we hear and see?
Yes, we can see your screen.
Okay, cool. So this is an unfinished piece. It's titled Museum of Lost Hope. Good evening, everyone. It is both my pleasure and utter regret to welcome you to the Museum of Lost Hope, a memorial dedicated to the embodiments of it is what it was and it's going to be what it's always been. Watch your step, children. Your next steps will be down a slippery slope through the dreary halls of the Museum of Lost Hope. If at any given moment you find yourself falling too fast or too deep, find the imaginary rope. Don't grab too tight because the only thing worse than no hope is false hope. Am I right? Moving on. Our first stop at It Is What It Was is a room derived from the golden statement of comfort and consent. It is what it is. Originally living side by side with ignorance is bliss, this room expresses a grip on his and her story that one may not just simply miss, but has to continuously reminisce on what it is because it doubles for what it, but has to continuously reminisce on what it was because it doubles for what it is. Get it? This room features that one X that we wholeheartedly believe contains so much potential, but refuse to step in it to refrain from getting their shoes wet. Oh, and we recently removed regret from this room as it didn't fit the aesthetic. We replaced it with charge it to the game simply because everyone goes through that young and dumb phase. Am I right? And yes, last week you were younger, sweetie. It's all right. I don't judge. Following along so far? Wonderful. Next stop, and it's gonna be what it's always been. No change then means no change now. Like turn that frown upside down, but it's opposite day, so that frown is here to stay. This room exhibits a demonstration of insurrection just 2 weeks before the 2021 inauguration, retaliated by a slap on the wrist, whereas my peers would have and have so lost their lives. Lives that can never be bought or replaced. Those itty bitty pepper spray squirts were a slap in the face. You would think a nation indivisible will be a lot less divisive. Ooh, that sounded a little too hopeful. Don't tell my boss, please. This minimum wage check just barely pays my living wage bills, but who cares as long as I go to work and pay my taxes still. And that's where it is because it's unfinished. Thank you guys.
Thank you. Thank you for sharing. And Joran mentioned this in the chat. That is an extremely creative piece. So I love the originality of your work. And next up is Bernardo.
Thank you, Marissa. It's good to be back. I'm gonna do a short piece. I'm listening to the poets. A lot of great stuff here. I really loved Morgan. I recognized that she was finding herself in that, and that's what led me to be a poet. You know, sitting with my own thoughts and trying to figure things out, and it eventually led me to being who I am, to think independently and be strong in my convictions. So I want to congratulate her on that, and to everyone going through something. This poem is not necessarily about hope, but I hope that it gives you hope and understanding that none of us are perfect and we're going to make mistakes and there'll be things that confound us at times. And the poem is called Humble is the Stumble. This is but a stumbling. So the next time you're standing before something that seems insurmountable, think about these words. This is but a stumbling stone, a pebble, a shingle, a rock, not boulder nor a mountain. It cannot make you stop, but only for a moment. The atonement that it takes to recognize the lies despised, distractions and mistakes. Take your next step forward in answer to your call. A stumble is just a mere misstep. It is not a fatal fall. Love yourself, hold the hope. Thank you.
Thank you. Your messages are always so strong, so thank you for sharing. Mads, you're up next.
Good evening, everyone. I just wanted to share a spoken word called I Have a Dream. I have a dream. They tell me dreams only happen when you're sleeping, while your mind is in the clouds and your eyes are shut to the world you're living in. They say dreams don't happen in reality, but I want to dream outside the clouds, above the slurs, louder than the voices in my head that tell me the struggle bus of change is pointless. I want to dream so hard I can see the bus, struggling to climb each hill and every bump tossing me higher into the air. All the same, that struggle bus is moving, struggles and all. I want to dream so hard other little girls will be watching my success and will create their own dreams. I want to dare to dream like so many little girls before me, all grown up now, but still dreaming, like Michelle, Maya, and Amanda. May my only regret be not dreaming big enough, screaming loud enough, and achieving enough of those dreams. I have a dream, and I have a mission I must complete because I don't want to compete with the submission to these voices of doubt, these screams of worthlessness, and these feelings of hopelessness. I dare to dream because I need others to dream, and I continue to dream because I need dreams to survive. I have a dream no one can take from me, not the voices around me, the jeers behind me, and the whispers inside me, because my dreams are built on hope. And hope is a dream that no nightmare, not even this thing called living, can ever steal from my heart. Because I have hope, I can dream, and you can dream. So go on, keep on that struggling bus. Get on that bus so painful and slow, sometimes plain hurtful. Just keep struggling on. You're getting somewhere. I'm getting somewhere. Together, we are going to get somewhere because we can dream. Thank you.
Thank you. I resonate with your words, and I know a lot of people here do too, because I saw a lot of nodding heads as you were reading, so thank you for sharing. Next up, again, is Bill. You're on mute, by the way.
Okay, kid. Okay. Here's just another poem. Yeah. I would encourage everybody, while I have the mic, just to like speak up, just so that we can hear. But anyway, here's a poem I wrote. This one is called Liquid Soul. Liquid Soul. Liquid soul oozes through the bluesman's tunes, his raspy, bellowing voice reverberating, vibrating in the darkened room, filled with aching hearts, pained by hard times, eased by howling cries of his harp, crisp and sharp. He breathes emotion that pleases the ear and touches the heart, hardened by the long day and loneliness, relieved by moaning liquid soul and calm darkness. In unison, sorrows are let go, lamented, and as many shall retire once again, lonely and alone, vibration, sweaty catharsis, and liquid soul has oozed down head to toe, warmed hearts, numb scarred flesh, tired aching bones.
Thank you. Your word choice is very, very captivating. So thank you for sharing. Next up again is Parker.
All right, let me find. Okay. Yeah, so this is a short one I wrote. This is called Splatter Paint. I am a canvas splatter painted, with blacks and reds, yellows, blues, and pinks streaked across my surface by chance, by luck. Sometimes when I'm walking down the street, sitting with people I don't know, they tell me that they're confused. They see me as a mess of colors, a pile of puzzle pieces they don't know how to put together. Some people guess, mistaking the unique shades of my strokes for something that they've seen before, something that fits their limited perception of color. Very few guess correctly. At these times, I wonder, what am I if nobody knows what I am? If I'm a mashed up collection of colors, then am I anything at all? But I brush these thoughts away, because who cares if people know what I am? I know what I am. I am art. Thank you.
Thank you. I know what I am. That is such a powerful statement. So thank you. I love that. Splatter paint. Okay. Now, does anybody else have a poem or would like to go a second time? Please just okay.
I would. I mean, I don't want to over.
No, yeah, you can go. I'm asking because we have some time. So I saw Corey, you could go, and then Brenda. Yeah.
Okay, and I'm sorry. I know we all. Oh man, we got some. It's some great poets. There's some great poets. Like there's some great poets in here. But I'm not gonna hold y'all up. I'm gonna get right into it. My poem is called Growing Pains. Lend me your ear, brothers and sisters, because I got a feeling I don't need an instrumental, because I got my intuition. We need to get together and practice really living, loving, laughing, and missing the people I used to be with. I hope that y'all agree with me as a free spirit, because it's a team effort. We moving at different paces, but learning the same lessons. I know I need to recite a poem to sing to the kids forever, while the toughest battles go to the strongest soldiers. From one soul to another, I hope that this one holds you. We hustle to motivate, keep going and growing faith, because we going through growing pains.
Thank you. That was great. Next up is Brenda.
I thought about this poem when I heard you, Feline, talking about suicide. This poem is called A Love Letter to the Suicidal. The walkers whisper, come to us. Death wishes like dandelions on the green appear. In the anguish mindscape is a place called desolation. But I care about you. I love you. You are the only life I have truly known. Come to me, I am familiar to you. Remember the days of light steps when we were dancing contented? We have our own secrets. Nobody but you and I know about this. Look at me. What do you like most? You have a particular feature, a certain turn of the head, a deliberate pose. We belong together, divinely joined by universal law. Our journey hasn't been easy, and sometimes it may feel like I am turning against you, but it is only because of our history together I remember everything. The negative encounters create a soundtrack of sabotage, a loud insistence of quiet asphyxiation that must be clearly excised. Otherwise, the repelling, countering, and protecting will not be sufficient to counter the din, the worthless repeating refrains of inadequate. The repeating in our brain, the haunting memories appear and reappear, imprints chained to our mind, the showers of disappointment, fear, torment, and hopelessness, experiences dulled to throbbing, and we look through breaking mirrors of painful reflections. But I can bring you back from your edges, from the cliff face of your dangling precarious. I find the beautiful in you and cultivate your crown in a safe place where you don't share the vulnerable with anyone else except our soul. The passage of pain can develop the metal of integrity, and soul scars heal with a moral fortitude that will be tough but infused with laughter. An abyss is waiting to drown us. So let us step over the agony into the power of our peace. It is small and no one may notice, but it belongs here and now. I respect life. Your life is my life and we are one. The steps we have fashioned are the heartbeat of passion. Don't destroy the rest of the journey because you don't understand part of the path. Come back to love. Love yourself enough to walk on and see the hope waiting just up the road.
Thank you. Thank you for sharing. Next up is James.
Hey folks, I'm back. All right, so just kind of as like a preface to this, my background's in the sciences, and so I don't write a lot about science, but I kind of drew on a little bit of scientific background for this piece, which I think kind of encapsulates a different approach to hope. And in it, I talk about the second law of thermodynamics, which is this idea that systems gradually become more chaotic over time. But what's interesting is that life, the fundamental principle of life, kind of goes against this principle, as basically it's a bunch of molecules and cells that reorganize themselves in a more orderly fashion. And I thought that it was in itself kind of inspiring and hopeful. So I wanted to write a piece about it. So anyway, it is called Kaboom. So anyway, here it goes. We work to be contented, and contented we'd remain, were it not for errant urges distilling in our brain. Getting what you want amounts to catching fog in nets. Each reach will break with entropy and all its etiquettes. Heat shall press you onward, burn up the final straw, life rebelling actively against the second law. Though frightened by the madness, each other and the sky, we've managed with advantages to repeatedly scrape by. Existence is defiance. Chaos cannot repress the search for satisfaction in the strangle of excess. But disorder may yet have its day. We'll find it laughing well if we dose too much on vengeance and blow ourselves to hell. That'd be pretty shitty. I think the choice is clear. Harmonize, compromise, or else become a smear. Yes, love is quite the headache, and peace may be too upbeat, but I'd take them any day over destruction's smug conceit. Thank you.
Thank you. Very fun wordplay.
Thanks.
Thank you so much. Next is Feline.
Thank you. Sorry, I have a really short one. It's called Outsider. Okay. Outsider. I am a stranger in my own home. Outsider. Sometimes I feel alienated. I feel all alone. Outsider. When you look at me, what do you see? I see an anomaly. Thank you.
Thank you for sharing. Next up, T Fun.
Okay, thank you so much. This is a wonderful evening, thank you. So this one is entitled, We've Been. We've been burned by the harsh whip, the rape, the dismantling of our lives. We've been stripped of our families, our heritage, our dignity, and by sharp-edged and ragged knives. We've been misaligned by their evilness, their darkness, their dislike, prejudice, and pure hate. We've been denied by their white privilege, by their so-called Southern civility, bathed in Christian baptism of be patient and wait. We've been bamboozled, hoodwinked, led astray, run amok, and flat out deceived. We've been landed on at Plymouth Rock and fed the hate-spewing air that they breathe. We've been weighted by sorrow and sadness, cruelty and crying, tortured pain and deep hurt. We've been stripped from our homeland and the familiarity of the smells and feel of motherland dirt. We've been told, if you're not ready to die for freedom, then take the word out of your vocabulary and out of your mouth. We've been told, don't you dare talk back, boy or gal, cautionary advice when traveling when in the deep South. We've been told we're not worthy, less than 3/5 of a human being. We've been maligned through the media, which taints what others are seeing. We've been the poor, disadvantaged, underserved, title of ghetto hoods. We've been so-called robbers, drug dealers, baby daddy, unwed mothers, and the stink of no good. We've been forced to eat their leftovers of hog maws, chitlins, pig snout, and pig ear. We've been hereditary chronic illness, diseased by high blood pressure, diabetes, and heart attack fear. We've been downtrodden for so long, some have forgotten how to overcome. We've been legislative outmaneuvered since construction, diminishing our ability to earn income. We've been paid slave servants, incomparable even as minimum wage prevail. We've been economically strapped and deprived. Too many generations denied opportunities, working like black market undervalue wholesale. We've been blasted negatively in the media, our protests distorted as actions by mobs and thugs. We've been told that our defiant actions are like inhumane, misguided fanatics on drugs. We've been denied our ability to speak out about deaths of those who deserve better. We've been walking eggshells, never respected, even when we try to follow the law to the letter. We've been the center of injustice, police brutality, grand jury lies, and no legal protection. We've been systemically unprotected by those who lost the Civil War, and this is their plan of rejection. We've been through all this and so much more, but it's time for a new day and a new plan. We've been born for true greatness, God's promise. Now go forth and fulfill your destiny, Black woman, Black man. Thank you.
Powerful. You have a lot of comments right now saying, yes, that is the truth. So thank you so much for sharing. And next up is Sheila.
Hello again. This is my granddaughter, Anastasia, and she's just starting to write poetry. So she has a very short poem she'd like to share with you.
Well,
Come
Come
on.
Well, it's called, you can read it.
It's called Be You. Do the things that you desire. You are beautiful like the earth. Be yourself and do what you want to do. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for sharing. Please keep writing, even though you're not on the screen anymore. Please do. Oh, sorry, I guess I was muted. Next will be Sister Joy.
I'm sorry, I didn't realize I was up next. This is a haiku, and it was inspired by Amanda Gorman, and it's simply titled, Such Hills to Climb. Such hills to climb, such hope to feel, such dreams to achieve, such sets me free.
Thank you. I love haikus. I'm glad we've heard a lot today.
Yeah, I wanted to stick with the theme of hope.
So we're actually coming to a close now. So thank you everyone who came. I hope that the theme of hope resonated with everyone today. It definitely did with me. So thank you everyone who shared. And I want to say before I pass it off to Rachel to close us out, I am actually having a poetry reading next Thursday with Burke's Bard. So I will put the link in the chat in a minute, but it was awesome getting to hear everybody's work. And I definitely suggest coming to these. It's an open mic series, so you can definitely come back. And now I will pass it off to Rachel.
Wow, that hour and a half went by so fast, probably like the quickest hour and a half of my work week. So thank you to everybody so much. The talent is just amazing. As Marissa said, and she's been such a good host. I mean, wow, you really just added such a light to this meeting. I put in the chat the link so you can register for our next open mic night, and that will be the last Wednesday of the month going forward. And that is a Wednesday at 7 p.m., just like tonight, and it will be February 24th. The next one will be hosted by Kanisha Matthews and Carrion Gray. They are librarians at PGCMLS, but also very talented people who will also be able to share some of their own works. I'd like to ask if Carrion is still on, if she'd like to give a few words about the next open mic.
I'm here. Can you hear me? Okay, I need everybody that's in here to come back next February. What we're going to do is you're going to get to hear from some of your favorite librarians and your favorite library staff. We're going to try to flood here as well and sharing the love and just sharing. We know that this is a difficult time during COVID to kind of get up and share, but thanks to the virtual environment, we can do that. I write myself. The theme for next month is For the Culture, Voices in Black Art. So you can share some of your favorite work, Harlem Renaissance, or you can share some of your own around that topic. And I can't wait to see everybody and share next month.
Thanks, Carrion.
How you doing? My name is Kanisha Matthews. I am going to be joining Carrion. First of all, let me just say, I always say the DMV has some of the truest talent. Like, I mean, you know, I think Atlanta has great music. You know, I think New York, but you cannot forget about us. I mean, we did birth some of the best, like Marvin Gaye, Genuine, Tank, Maya. So just to be in a room full of other artists is amazing to me, and it's dope. So I'm looking forward to hearing more pieces from you guys. I can't wait to perform. It's going to be lit. It's going to be lit. Shout out to the person that did Rolling Ray. I know him. I'm familiar with him. So yeah, let's keep the culture going. Let's keep the vibes going.
All right. Well, thanks again. The library is a great resource for you all. So we hope to see you all when we open our doors to the public again. But in the meantime, feel free to check out books and pick them up curbside and check out our digital collections. There's lots of poetry and all sorts of titles. So hope that you had a great time and have a great rest of your evening.
Thank you, Marissa. Thank you, Rachel. Good to see you, Sister Joy.
Bye.
So much.
so
Good
much.
to see you as well.
Thank you. I will open my mouth the next time.
Okay.
Thank you all. Thank you for the opportunity.
Thank you.
I'll
Thank
send you
you.
my recent announcement.
Good job, everyone.
Sister Joy, you have an email for me coming your way.
Okay. I'll look for it. Thank you.
Will someone be sending out the link for the next event that she mentioned? I see the one in here for the Burks one, but is that the one for the next library?
No, Rachel.
The coming, Sheila.
Yes.
Okay.
Thank you. This is awesome.
Thanks for coming, Morgan.
Got it. Thank you.
Congratulations, Marissa. You did a great job.
Thank you, Sister Joy, and thanks for sharing. I love hearing your work. So
Good night, everybody.
The
Good
link
night.
to register is in the chat for the next one. So it's in the chat. Or you can just go to our website and it'll have the link. All right.
Thank you for coordinating. Good night.
Good job, Tracy.
Well, are you guys gonna put everybody's IG in a place that we can go and follow each other?
We can make that shout out for the next time.
I've been like taking pictures of the chat with people's Instagrams. So if you email me, I can send it to you.
What is your email, Marissa?
Marissa, Marissa .Michel, Michel at Writopia, WRITOPIA lab.org.
Marissa.Michel.Writopia?
At Writopia.
Oh, at. I've never heard of Writopia. WRITO. No, WRITEOP.
Here, I'll type it in the chat. It's a writing organization. Yeah.
Okay, that's awesome.
Okay, that's my email.
Let me get my phone and take a picture. Thank you.
No problem.
I think whoever is in charge of the Zoom, there's a way you can save the chat.
I think I have that option.
I'm not sure that the library is set up for that though.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, if it's a Zoom link, then you can, but this is not a Zoom link. I don't think. Is this Zoom, Marissa?
Yeah, this is
I don't see the ellipses. Normally it's by clicking on the ellipses and it says save chat. I don't see that.
I'm looking for it. Let me see if I can find
I
it.
think you're right. I don't see it.
Nick might not have turned that feature on just for security purposes. You know,
Yeah, because I
Nick
normally
is
try to
super.
save the chat as
Yeah.
well.
Yeah.
We don't want sensitive information to leak to the public.
Ma'am.
Well, if you're on this event, we're not the public.
Well, we also use this account for like inter-staff meetings.
Okay.
So maybe that's why.
Well, thank you all so much for the opportunity. Have a great night.
You too.
Thank you
Good
for
night.
coming and for sharing.
Good night.
Good night, everyone. God bless.
Good night. And I'll stick around quickly. We can chat with our own staff and Marissa for a second. So thanks to everyone for joining us. Good night. Let's see. We might still have a few folks hanging on.
Hey, I'm back, guys. Sorry.
Oh, we just ended. Sorry, Corey.
Oh, you just ended?
Just
Oh, okay.
ended. Yeah.
I just wanted to come back and thank you guys. It was so beautiful. It was a lot of talent, a lot of wisdom, and a lot of hope being shared tonight. So yeah, I just wanted to come back and pay my respects for real.
Great.
Thank you.
See you next month, Corey. You gonna come out?
Yeah. And I mean, if I know somebody said in the messages that you shouldn't contact with somebody without prior consent, but if anybody wanted to contact me or they can.
Cool.
Thank you for your permission. Thanks, Corey.
Yeah.
All right. Well, take care. Have a good evening.
All right. Y'all have a good night. Thank you.
All right. Bye-bye.
Should
All right.
I pause the recording or stop the recording?
I can pause it.